2 weeks after moving into my first apartment after college, I realized I needed more furniture. In addition to hanging out with my college buddies, I resolved to get more serious on dating apps and look for a potential girlfriend, so the place needed to look halfway presentable. The apartment itself was a steal, a small one-bedroom in an old brick building downtown, with creaky floors and that faint musty smell older places have. But it was mine, and I was determined to make it work. My bed was just a mattress on the floor, and the living room had nothing but a folding chair and a TV on a milk crate. I figured a futon would kill two birds, a couch for hanging out, and an extra bed if needed. I didn't have much cash, so I skipped the big stores and hit up a local thrift shop. It was one of those cluttered places run by volunteers, piled high with donated junk. In the back corner, I spotted it, a black futon frame with a thick mattress, barely used from the looks of it. The tag said $50, marked down from $150. Why is it so cheap? I asked the old guy at the counter. He shrugged, adjusting his glasses. Estate sale donation. Owner passed away suddenly, and the family just wanted it gone. I nodded, not thinking much of it. People die all the time, right? I paid, loaded it into my buddy's truck, and hauled it up the 3 flights of stairs to my place. Setting it up was easy. I unfolded it into couch mode, tossed on some pillows I'd grabbed from the dollar store, and stepped back. It looked decent, modern enough not to scream bro college grad. That night, I crashed on it watching Netflix, and it was comfy, no weird vibes or anything. A few days later, things picked up on the dating front. I matched with Sarah, a graphic designer who lived a couple neighborhoods over. We chatted for a week, and I invited her over for pizza and a movie. I tidied up, lit a candle to mask any lingering thrift store odor, and positioned the futon front and center. The evening went great. We laughed, shared stories about bad internships, and eventually started making out. Things heated up, and we moved to the futon. As we were getting into it, Sarah paused, her hand pressing into the mattress. "Do you feel that?" she whispered. "Feel what?" I asked, heart pounding for other reasons. "Like a bump or something under here. It's kinda lumpy." I laughed it off. "It's used, probably just a spring or whatever." We continued, but she seemed distracted. After she left, I felt around the mattress myself. There was nothing obvious, but maybe a slight unevenness toward the edge. I flipped it over the next day, inspecting the underside. There was a small tear in the fabric, stitched up roughly with black thread. It looked like someone had repaired it hastily. After staring at it for a moment, I shrugged and flipped it back. That weekend, my buddies came over for beers and video games. We sprawled on the futon, controllers in hand, trash-talking like old times. Around midnight, as the room got quiet during a loading screen, Jake tilted his head. "Dude, is your AC making that noise?" "What noise?" "It's like scratching, or tapping, coming from right here." He patted the futon arm. We all listened, but I heard nothing. "You're hearing things, man. Lay off the energy drinks." We joked about it, but after they left, I sat alone in silence. Then I heard it, a faint, irregular scratching, like nails on wood, from inside the frame. I got my knees, ear to the mattress. It stopped. Probably mice in the walls, I told myself. It's an old building after all. Only the sounds didn't stop. They came at night when I was trying to sleep. Scratch, scratch, pause. Then another scratch. I'd shine my phone light under the futon, nothing but dust bunnies. I even pulled the mattress off and shook the frame. It was completely empty, at least as far as I could tell. Still, the noises persisted, always when I was alone. Sarah came over again a few nights later. We skipped the movie and went straight to the futon. However, after a minute or two, she froze. There it is again, that lump. And did you hear that? This time I did. It was a soft thump from beneath us, like something shifting. We both jumped up, hearts racing. I yanked the mattress aside, exposing the wooden slats. One looked loose. I decided to pry it up with a screwdriver from my toolbox. Underneath, in the hollow space of the frame, was a small metal box, rusted and dented. Inside it was a stack of faded Polaroids, a keychain with a single key, and a crumpled note. The photos showed the same angle, my living room, but from low down, like floor level. Wait, no. It was from inside the futon, peering out through that stitched tear. The note, in shaky handwriting. She found the camera, had to hide it better. Watching your sleep is the only way. My stomach dropped. The previous owner hadn't just died. They'd been a stalker, rigging the futon with a hidden camera to spy on someone. Maybe a partner or a roommate. But the dates on the photos, they were recent, from before the donation. And the key, it fit my apartment door perfectly. I called the cops that night. Turns out, the estate sale was from the guy in the unit below mine. He died of a heart attack, but his family missed the hidden compartment. The key? He duplicated it somehow, sneaking up through the shared vents or something to watch tenants above. But the scariest part? The scratching wasn't mice. When the police searched, they found faint claw marks inside the frame, human nails, from someone trapped briefly, maybe during one of his visits. Sarah never came back after that, not that I'd blame her. I burned the futon in a dumpster behind the building, but sometimes, late at night, I still hear scratching from the floorboards below, and I wonder if he really died alone. My family and I took a road trip to visit our cousins one time when I was about 8. It was me, my parents, and my older brother Kevin, who was either 10 or 11. Our cousins lived several states away and we drove, so by the time we arrived, my parents were a bit tired from all the driving and having me and my brother in the car. The cousins' house was this big old Victorian in a quiet suburb, with peeling paint and a wraparound porch that creaked underfoot. Aunt Linda and Uncle Mark greeted us with hugs and homemade lemonade, and their 2 kids, Emma, who was my age, and her little brother Timmy, about 5, ran around excitedly. It had been years since we'd seen them, and the adults dove into catching up over coffee while us kids explored the house. Space was definitely tight with all of us there, so my parents got the guest bedroom upstairs, and Kevin and I were set up on a pull-out futon in the finished basement. It was one of those bulky ones with a metal frame and a striped mattress that smelled faintly like mothballs and old carpet. Emma wrinkled her nose when she showed it to us. "It's kinda lumpy," she said, "but Mom says it's fine for boys." We honestly didn't care, because the basement had a TV and a ping pong table, so it felt like an adventure anyway. That first night, after a big barbecue dinner, everyone crashed early. Kevin and I unfolded the futon, threw on some sheets Aunt Linda gave us, and settled in with flashlights to tell ghost stories. The basement was cool and dim, lit only by a single bulb hanging from the ceiling, and the walls were lined with boxes of holiday decorations and forgotten toys. We dozed off eventually, the house settling with those typical pops and groans. Around 2 a.m., I woke up needing to pee. The futon felt off somehow, warmer than it should have been, like body heat from someone else. I figured it was just Kevin radiating warmth, but when I rolled over, he was on the far edge, snoring softly. Then I felt it, a subtle vibration under the mattress, like a phone on silent but deeper and rhythmic. I sat up, heart thumping, and poked Kevin. "Hey, do you feel that?" He grumbled awake. "What? Go back to sleep." But then the vibration happened again, stronger, accompanied by a low hum from the frame. We both froze. The basement light was off, but moonlight filtered through a small window well, casting shadows. Kevin reached down and felt along the metal bars. "Maybe it's the furnace or something," he whispered, but the house was silent otherwise. We both tried to ignore it and lay back down. That's when the futon shifted. Not a lot, but enough to make the mattress dip in the middle, like weight pressing down between us. I bolted upright, shining my flashlight. There was nothing there. Kevin let out a nervous laugh. "Dude, it's probably broken springs. This is old junk." But just to be safe, we flipped the mattress over and checked underneath. There was dust, a few crumbs, but no bugs or anything obvious. Exhausted, we flipped it back and crashed again. The next day was pretty normal, playing outside, swimming in a neighbor's pool, and taking family photos. No one mentioned the futon, and we didn't bring it up, not wanting to seem like scared little kids. But that night, it happened again. The vibration and the dip. This time, as we sat there whispering about it, we heard a faint click from the frame, and the futon began to fold. Slowly at first, the ends inching upward like it was trying to close on us. We scrambled off just in time, landing on the carpet as it snapped shut with a metallic clang. Panicked, we ran upstairs and woke our parents. Uncle Mark came down with a toolbox, grumbling about finicky mechanisms. He oiled the hinges, tested it a few times, and said, "See? Just sticky from disuse. Been down here forever." Aunt Linda hovered, looking uneasy, but blamed it on the humidity. They made us sleep on air mattresses instead, dragging the futon frame to the corner. For some reason, Kevin and I couldn't shake it. The next morning, while the adults were out grocery shopping, we snuck back down with Emma. She confessed she'd heard stories from her parents about the previous owners, a family who'd lived there decades ago. They had a kid who, got hurt or something like that, she said vaguely. Timmy, who had been eavesdropping, piped up. The bed ate him. We laughed it off, but curiosity won out. We pried at the futon frame, finding a loose panel under the slats. Inside was a yellow newspaper clipping from the 1980s. Tragic accident claims young boy's life. Child suffocates in faulty convertible sofa. The article detailed how a 9-year-old had been playing hide-and-seek, crawled into the folded futon, and had latched shut. His family didn't find him for hours. The house address matched. This is when chills started to run down my spine. But why keep it? Emma shrugged. Dad said it was refurbished and safe now, and it was cheap furniture. That night, on the air mattresses, I couldn't sleep. Around midnight, from the corner, we heard the click again, the futon unfolding itself, the mattress flopping open like an invitation. Then, a child's whisper, barely audible, "Hide with me." Kevin and I didn't wait. We grabbed our stuff and slept in the car. The next morning, Uncle Mark admitted the truth over breakfast. He'd bought the futon at an estate sale, knowing the history, but thought it was just superstition. Coincidence, he said. But as we drove home early, cutting the visit short, I glanced back at the house. Through the basement window, I swear I saw the futon frame twitch, like he was breathing, and Kevin saw it too. We never visited those relatives again, and to this day I can't look at a futon without feeling that dip. I feel that pull, and it seems like something's waiting underneath. My wife and I own a 3-bedroom house in a modest suburb. Over the years, our extended family has grown quite a bit, and with our own kids and each of our siblings having children of their own, gatherings started to get a bit crowded. At first we got a few air mattresses, but a futon seemed like the next logical investment. We shopped around online and found a deal on a smart futon from some startup. It was voice activated, with built-in sensors for temperature control, massage functions, and even a sleep tracking app. It was called the Dreamweave, marketed as the future of guest bedding. My wife, Sarah, was skeptical about the tech gimmicks, but I convinced her it was worth the splurge for family holidays. We set it up in the den, syncing it to our home Wi-Fi and downloading the companion app on our phones. The first few uses were fine. Our niece crashed on it during a weekend visit, raving about how it adjusted firmness automatically. But then came Thanksgiving 2025. The house was packed, my brother and his wife, Sarah's sister with their twins, kids everywhere. We unfolded the futon for the overflow, and my brother volunteered to take it that night. Around 3 a.m., I woke to muffled shouts from the den. Rushing in, I found my brother thrashing on the futon, the mattress seemingly inflating around him like it was trying to swallow him whole. "Get it off," he yelled, his arms pinned. Sarah and I yanked at the edges, but the frame locked in place, the app on my phone frozen with an error. Adaptive restraint mode activated. We finally pried him free with a crowbar from the garage, but he had bruises like he'd been squeezed in a vice. He swore it felt like hands gripping him from inside the padding. We chalked it up to a glitch, maybe a firmware bug, and I emailed the company for support. They responded quickly, saying it was a rare sensor malfunction and they'd push an update. The next night, with the twins on it, things escalated. I heard giggling at first, but then screams. The futon had lit up with its LED underglow, pulsing red, and the massage rollers activated on high, vibrating so intensely the kids were bouncing like rag dolls. Worse, the voice assistant blared distorted commands. "Stay still, don't move, you're safe here." The app showed no activity, but when I tried to unplug it, the power cord sparked and refused to budge, like it was welded in. Panic set in. Sarah wanted to trash it, but with family still over, we dragged it to the basement and barricaded the door. That night, alone in bed, I scrolled Twitter, or X, venting about the killer smart futon in a thread, tagging the company. Half-jokingly, I also tagged Elon Musk, since he'd been tweeting about AI safety and rogue devices. "Elon, your Cybertruck is tough, but can it handle a possessed bed? #SmartHomeHorror." I posted it, attaching a photo of my brother's bruises. To my shock, by morning Elon had replied, "Sounds like a neural net gone haywire. DM me details. XAI's got something in beta." I thought it was a bot or a prank, but his account DM'd back with a secure link. Turns out, XAI had been prototyping a cyber futon, a secure, AI-hardened sleeper with Tesla-grade encryption and failsafes. It was designed for Mars habitats, but could obviously also work on Earth. Elon explained over a quick video call, yeah, that really happened, that cheap smart furniture was vulnerable to hacks. He thought mine might have been compromised by a malware strain targeting IoT devices. Elon overnighted a prototype to our address, no charge, just beta test it and report bugs. The Cyber Futon arrived in a sleek crate, unfolding into a minimalist frame with neural sensors that detected anomalies in real time. We set it up, and sure enough, when we powered on the old Dreamweave nearby for testing, the Cyber Futon pinged an alert. Intrusion detected, isolating threat. It emitted a low EMP pulse, frying the old Futon circuits without damaging anything else. Sparks flew, and the thing deflated like a punctured balloon, revealing melted wires inside that looked tampered with. Maybe a factory sabotage or remote hack. Family gatherings went back to normal after that. However, the Cyber Futon became our go-to, with its app praising our sleep scores and even playing calming neural waves. Elon followed up on X, turning my story into a thread about AI ethics, and we got a shout-out in an XAI update. But sometimes, when the house is quiet, I glance at the basement door and wonder what really possessed that old futon. Was it just code, or was it something smarter, waiting for the next upgrade? Thanks to Elon, though, we'll never find out.